Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my Florida Panthers franchise mode series right here on NHL 20. And I have to admit right off the top here, it's a bit of a swift kick to the groin to see that this Panthers team has had this much success this early on. I'm not complaining, but to see this team make it to the second round of the playoffs already, when you compare this team to some of the teams that we've had in other series so far this year, it's a tough pill to swallow, but that's just the way life works, I guess. We went through this team and through the lineup. Obviously, right now, the top six is absolutely carrying this team. The bottom six is going to have to wake up because I just don't know if it's sustainable to see our top players continue to do this well. That goes on, for defense as well. Keith Yandel, though, needs to step up. Defensively, he and Ekblad have been solid. Ekblad's, though, he's been the one putting up points. It's a really weird team to look at because it just doesn't make sense. But I suppose that's the name of the game this year, right? Franchise mode, it will just subvert your expectations at every turn. It's the Game of Thrones final season of franchise modes. That said, let's take a look at what we're up against, the Toronto Maple Leafs. What is going on with them at this point? Of course, the team, the personnel, would not have been able to be changed, but in terms of the line combinations, this is what we're looking at. William Nylander on the top line had a great first round against Boston alongside Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, so they are killing it. Second line, Andreas Johnsson, John Tavares, call him what you will, and Zach Hyman, who hasn't exactly done much thus far. Jason Spezza is next to Alex Kerfoot and Kasperi Kapanen. Fourth line of Nick Patan, Trevor Moore, and Ilya Mikheyev, who have struggled immensely in terms of defense thus far. Obviously, it's a very well-crafted lineup. You have, I'd probably actually flip Kapanen and Hyman just to get Kapanen in a more offensive role, but hey, it worked for them. They did finally make it past Boston. Defensively, this could be our big equalizer. You have Morgan Riley, 8 points thus far, next to Tyson Barrie, who's been struggling to put up points. Jake Muzzin and Cody Ceci are somehow a pairing and good. And then you have Travis Dermott next to Justin Hall, and they have not been good. The goaltending, it's Freddie Anderson, and he has been phenomenal thus far. Michael Hutchinson's had one appearance and did not do well, a goals against average of a 9.02, which is ridiculous. Aberg, Timashov, and Agostino, the healthy scratches. So, are we the favorites heading into this series? I would say no, despite the near 60-win season. It's just kind of, maybe it's just off of, I don't want to say name value, but yeah, I would say the Leafs are probably the favorites here in this series at this point. Yes, I know Austin Matthews has the C. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I said it to John Tavares, but whatever, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. So we're going to get this series underway. People on Springfield are upset. I was asked about it actually in the comment section of the last video. Why don't you like the Springfield Thunderbirds? Because the AHL is a clown show. Their home, their headquarters, based in Springfield, Massachusetts. And the Springfield Falcons were moving out west in the AHL expansion, or not exactly the expansion, but kind of the expansion. And they said, well, we can't not have a team where our headquarters are located. Let's take the Portland Pirates away from Portland and away from Tugi specifically to make him a very sad boy. And they did. So the Springfield Thunderbirds can kick rocks, as can the Toronto Maple Leafs, hopefully, as we get this series underway. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know whether to be hopeful, whether to be scared, but we're going to find out one way or another. First period, though, of Game 1 is equal. Dead-ass equal, huh? Works for me. Second period is not equal, and it works for me. Sasha Barkov with the opening goal of this game. Shots are still about even, but we are up 1-0 heading in to the third period of play, and 35 seconds in, Mike Hoffman with the goal. We're up by 2. The lead is doubled as hopefully Mike Hoffman scores again. Good God, Anton Strawman makes it 4, the former Leaf. And it's a dominant performance on home ice to begin this series. A 27-save shutout for Sergei Bobrovsky. That is insane. 16 shots to 10 in our favor in that third period. Bob with one hell of a game, but Mike Hoffman takes the first star. I mean, I'd give it to Bob personally, but Hoffman with a tremendous game, Barkov with a 2-point game, and that is the perfect way to begin this series. Absolutely perfect. And again, you look at it, I mean, the top players, Hoffman, Barkov, Trocheck, Dadonov, call them what you will, leading the way. It was that Strawman-Weegar pairing, though, that had a very, very good game for us, which is very promising, of course, to not have to be that top pairing to deliver the points. Although Keith Yandel, it's still been a little bit quiet from you. We're obviously going to keep the team the same, so let's jump into Game 2. No reason to delay or build up, any sort of fake hype. Let's just see what happens here. First period of this second game, and the Leafs do get the opening goal. Zach Hyman scores 5 minutes and 4 seconds into the period, but Jonathan Huberdeau, who in real life, by the way, is 3 points away at the time of recording this from tying Olli Jokinen for the Panthers franchise lead. So it will be Jonathan Huberdeau by the end of the month, and then Sasha Barkov is like 27 points behind Jokinen. So very interesting that, finally, at least the Panthers will be able to say, like, no disrespect to Olli Jokinen, but is that really the guy you want to be like, yeah, that's our franchise leader in points? No, have it be an underrated superstar like Jonathan Huberdeau. Much better look. We outshot the Leafs 11-7 in that period, but we are tied at 1. Second period, the Leafs take the lead. Andreas Johnsson, that second line working out quite well for Toronto in this game thus far. Shots are close. We're down by 1 heading into the third. A weaker performance from Bobrovsky. Can the offense show up here? That bottom 6, awfully quiet. Kasperi Kapanen makes it 3-1. 9 minutes left, and that'll do it. Austin Matthews makes it 4-1. He makes it 5-1 because you got to avoid that 4-1 lead, right, Leafs fans? The Leafs are going to take Game 2 in a dominant effort. Absolutely dominant. We get 1 goal past Anderson. 5 past Bobrovsky is the time. Anderson with 32 saves. 2 goals for Matthews. A solid game for Travis Dermott. And mission accomplished for the Leafs, taking a 1-1 split back with them. And just in general, rebounding from a pretty brutal first game. Now, we said in the last episode that we weren't going to change the lines, but man, the bottom 6 has been quiet. Very, very quiet. So I can't help but think that maybe changing. Yeah, I mean, there is 1 point. There's 3 points. I mean, Malgin, Achari, and Skeevier with points right now. That is just simply not going to cut it. I think the game plan here is just to move up Noel Achari. I mean, it's a tough call. Or we could swap Malgin and Skeevier. We're going to lose the bonus regardless. I just don't know who I want to move up because, I mean, yeah, ideally you'd have Brian Boyle in that more ideal role. Let's swap Malgin and Skeevier, and we'll see if that works. And then defensively, I don't want to lose that Strawman and Weegar pairing, but it might be worth it. Let's bump up Matheson, and we'll see if that works. Although I'm still concerned about Keith Yandel and his lack of ability to put up points here. But I don't want to drop him down to the third pairing. That just wouldn't work. So we're going to make a couple of slight changes. People are going to... You know what? No. I think people won't... You guys probably won't freak out for me changing up the bottom 6. I'll leave the defense because I know it's just 1 loss. There are some concerns. We'll at least change up the bottom 6 because I think that's justified even though we've been winning. We'll leave it at that. Game 3 at Scotiabank Arena. Let's do this. First period. So remember when I said I don't know if I should be hopeful? Well, I think I got my answer. Austin Matthews, Ilya Mikheyev, Andreas Johnsson, That was enough to chase Bobrovsky within 10 minutes. Kasperi Kapanen scores on Dreger, 14 shots to 8. 4-0 Toronto. Second period, good God, we might not be done. Frank Vatrano, Brett Connolly on the power play, and Jonathan Huberdeau. It's a 1-goal game heading into the third. We are tied in shots and within striking distance. This game is not over. Third period, though. Can we find the goal to tie it? The Leafs have blown a 4-goal lead. Mike Hoffman, Noel Acciari, 5 unanswered. The memes must stay in check for now. Power play doesn't go. 4 minutes left. 3, 2, 1. Brett Connolly scores. The Toronto Maple Leafs have blown a 4-goal first period lead. 6-4 is your final. The Florida Panthers with the just... Oh, that's hilarious. That's just hilarious. I'm sorry. Even if we lose this series, it feels like a win now. Brett Connolly with a great game. What the hell happened to Toronto? Did Mike Babcock take over after the first period? We outshot them 24-15. They only put up 4 shots in the second period. And shout out to Chris Dreger. Just the 1 goal allowed, and he killed it from there. He's had a tremendous season for us, despite being rated in the low 70s. That is absolutely insane. It was still a brutal game for Yandel and Ekblad, which, again, I'm very concerned about that pairing. But after a 6-4 win, a comeback win like that, we're not going to be changing anything. The Dallas Stars are up 3-0 on Vancouver. Arizona's up 3-0 on San Jose. And the Islanders up 2-1 on Pittsburgh as we prepare for Game 4. Now, a thing to note, of course, the Springfield Thunderbirds were eliminated from the playoffs. You know, it's been a long time since I've been invested in an AHL team. It has been. And I think it's because I look back to like the original Draft of Glory with the Washington Capitals. And if you never watched that series, highly recommend checking that out. But I think that was the last time I was, super invested in a team. Unless it was like rebuilding Hockey Town 2, where it's just both the NHL and AHL clubs at the same time were just monstrous to deal with. Anyway, that side note aside, it's time for Game 4. The Leafs have, or already in this series, shown that they can bounce back from a devastating loss. They won Game 2. They lose Game 4 here, though, and they're in a lot of trouble. Let's see what happens. First period. Good God, what is goaltending? Vinny Trocheck, 2 goals in 25 seconds within the first 2 minutes of play, both from terrible angles. But from there, the Leafs take over. Riley, Matthews, and Hyman, 3 goals in just over 3 minutes. That's insane. We had all 5 goals scored within 6 minutes of play. 3-2 Leafs heading into the second period, where the goal scoring keeps up. We see the exact same thing. 2 goals to start for us, Skeevier and Dodonov, and then Marner, Matthews, and Kerfoot score. 6-4. Toronto heading into the third period. In a series that includes Frederik Andersen and Sergei Bobrovsky, Ilya Mikheyev makes it 7. Why the hell is Dreger not in? What is up with our coach? I really wish, as Barkov scores, that there was a button to switch goaltenders from this menu. I really wish there was. It'd probably be incredibly tough to program, but still, you can do it in MLB, where you can change players on the fly through the sim engine. And why can't you do it here? Why can't we do it here, EA? Let me mix up the lines mid-game. Let me do it, please. Especially if the AI is not going to. We lose Game 4 by the score of 7-5. Sergei Bobrovsky is getting lit up as Austin Matthews leads the way with a 2-goal effort. 37 shots to 27, yet we lost 7-5. Brett Connolly was phenomenal. That Keith Yandel and Ekblad pairing is done. It has to be done. Granted, all of our top players really struggled in that game. That top pairing has to change. They have just been getting crushed. Absolutely crushed. The Dallas Stars are on their way to the Western Conference Finals, still likely to play Arizona. Pittsburgh has tied up their series at 2 apiece against New York. So taking a look at this team, I still don't think I'm going to change anything there. I mean, bottom 6-wise, the personnel pretty much has to stay. It pretty much has to. I mean, Howard can get the call-up. Owen Tippett could get the call-up, although it's not as if these guys did well in the playoffs. Heponiemi, Sorella, and Borgstrom. These are the guys that are going to be making the push next season, I would say. Although, it's not like we're going to want to play Henrik Borgstrom in more of a defensive role. Like, he's top 6 or bust. I mean, Alexi Sorella at a 75. Owen Tippett, of course, is offensive role or bust. Howard could play in the bottom 6 right now, I would say. And then Heponiemi's more offensive as well. So if there was going to be anyone that we'd call up, it'd be Chase Howard. Although, I don't know if that's what I want to do. Brian Boyle has been abysmal. Noel Acciari has 2 goals, but he just has not been good. What is the proper combination here? I mean, I don't even know. Skeevier, I'd say, has been better than Boyle. Hunt has been a little bit better than Boyle, too, but not by much. Acciari. Okay, so that's a +5. That is going to be the line. Acciari, Skeevier, and Hunt, which was the 4th line before, have better chemistry on the 3rd line. So the old 3rd line is now the 4th line, and the old 4th line is now the 3rd line because holy shit. We just solved our problem right then and there. Defensively, Pysyk and Matheson have been phenomenal. So I think we go Uyghur and Ekblad, Yandel and Strawman, and we see what happens from here. Bobrovsky, though. We need to see what that save percentage is, because in this series, I was tempted to add a few more rules like we did with the Carolina series last year. I held off because really, I don't plan on getting rid of Bobrovsky. We're going to keep him, probably for the entire series. And if we don't, I mean, it's going to be a nightmare to trade him anyway, even with cap retention. He's been terrible. Straight 8s as a save percentage, that's simply not good enough. We'll see what happens in Game 5 with these new line combinations. But this could have, I mean, we could have a 3-1 series lead right now. We probably should. We'll see what happens here, though. First period, an advantage to Florida. Brian Boyle scores on the power play. Dennis Malgin scores shorthanded. 20 shots to 6. A dominant period. That is exactly what we needed to see. Second period, that isn't exactly what I wanted to see, but Frankie Vetrano put us up by 3 on the power play. Nylander and Spezza got him back to within striking distance before Sasha Barkov doubled the lead. It's 4-2 as we head into the third. That was a pretty quiet period for us offensively. Austin Matthews scores again. It is yet again a 1-goal game. Power play goes to waste for Toronto, as an abbreviated power play goes to waste for us as well. We are halfway through the third period here. What is going to happen? 5-4. Spezza ties it. We are tied at 4 apiece. Mike Hoffman scores with 2 minutes left. Jonathan Huberdeau. Whoo. Goaltending, you say? I don't think so. Not in this series. 6-4, the final. Hoffman with 2 minutes left. Huberdeau, not even on an empty net. Just 34 seconds later, seals the deal right when it looked like we blew a lead. We somehow manage to survive, and we are 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final. Mike Hoffman continues to do well. Oh, man, the only player with 3 points in that game for us. Pysyk was terrible. Of course he was. And then, that third line, Jesus. Hey, we survived. And now we have 2 opportunities to end this series. But again, Bobrovsky and Frederik Andersen. And these are the type of high-scoring games that we've seen. This is absolutely absurd. As the Islanders are up 3-2 on Pittsburgh. But just seriously, look at the scores here. 4-0, 5-1, 6-4, 7-5, 6-4. What the hell is going on? Absolutely insane. The Western Conference Final is set. It is Dallas and Arizona in Season 1. And we'll see whether or not we can punch our ticket to the Eastern Conference Final here. Back in Toronto, the Leafs fighting for their lives. Let's see what happens. Can we survive this despite Sergei Bobrovsky being absolutely terrible? First period, advantage Panthers. Strawman and Huberdeau with 10 seconds left. 10 shots apiece, but we're up 2-0 on the board. Absolutely tremendous. Second period, it stays the same. We are 20 minutes away from the conference final in Season 1. That is outrageous, but it might just be happening. Here we go. Third period. Bobrovsky, Dadonov makes it 3. Can Bobrovsky hold on? Power play for the Leafs goes to waste. We're halfway home. My God. John Tavares scores his first goal of this series. Under 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The Florida Panthers are going to the Eastern Conference Final in Season 1. Sergei Bobrovsky shows up. Sasha Barkov with the hat trick of apples. We are going to the conference final. That is absolutely hilarious. Who needs a series with turmoil and struggle when the Florida Panthers can make their way to the Eastern Conference Final, where they'll be taking on the New York Islanders for the right to go to the Stanley Cup Final? Toronto and New York, not happening. Florida and New York, that is happening. What a bizarre, absolutely bizarre Final Four that we have in Season 1. Dallas and Arizona, Florida, and the New York Islanders. Experience franchise mode at its very best. Guys, that will do it for this one. You would have seen the stats. Let me know what you think in terms of potential line combinations. I think we'll probably stick with what we have, especially after discovering that +5 on that new look third line. I do want to, of course, thank you again for watching. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already. And a shout out, of course, Patreon is now a thing. And a shout out to those of you who have subscribed to that Tier 3 Emmy sub. I love you guys already. The support for that has been much better than I ever expected. And I thank you very much for that. Of course, if you haven't already done that and it's something that interests you, hey, check it out. Links in the description as well as everything. You know, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. And we are halfway to the Stanley Cup.